talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. The she need down the ride, oh, I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Y'all already know who this is. Big Bobby. What's going on? Who we got in there with us?
You old man.
Derek.
Who?
My name's Derek. I'm a letter carrier from Boston, Mass. Table 2, representing, coming at you hard. Let's go. Let's go. Who else we got?
All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm your boy Tshirts, representing the Philly suburbs, Philly itself, all the hardworking USPS postal craft employees. Strap in and listen carefully.
Hey, well, I appreciate y'all taking a few minutes out your day. Hopefully we gonna have a bunch of episodes with this going on, and we just gonna delve right into it. Gentlemen, what's up? Eagles.
What's going on, brother?
I don't know about no damn Eagles, man.
We got a big old W today.
Oh man,
big old W in Cincinnati. Don't start. Looking good.
So, you know, let's talk about the real. What is up with your contract? How do you feel about it? You're a table 1 and the other one's a table 2. And my first question to all of you right now, did you get your ballots yet?
Derek, I know I didn't get my ballot yet. Did you get your ballot yet?
No, I didn't, and I don't know anyone that did yet.
Same here. My station spoke with everybody. Nothing. Not yet. The printers are down.
Right?
Yeah.
They used up all the ink on the political mail.
Yeah, I bet. So I got some basic questions about your contract, man. And you know, like I said, I'm not a carrier, but from what I read, I didn't particularly like a lot of things that were in it. From your perspective, you the OG right now. Chooch, what do you think about it?
I am in great awe of the contract. No, I'm just kidding. I think the contract is terrible. I think it is terrible for top level carriers like myself. I think it is terrible, especially for table 2 carriers like Derek. I want to congratulate anybody new joining the post office that's going to get a nice bump. You're not even an employee here yet because the contract hasn't been ratified, but you know, I'm not going to say poor. I'm just going to say that it's a shame that people that at step C, who have been here 3 and 4 years, are going to be matched with these people that walk into the doors in a couple of months as new employees if this contract is ratified under the current pretenses that it's been presented. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible contract.
So you like it? I get it. All right, cool. How about you? How about you, D?
Yeah, I agree. It's a head shaker for me. I don't understand it. To me, it looks like all concessions. I can't find a positive in it. I'm table 2, you know, as people know. I am step F. I'm going to G pretty soon, in a couple of months, but we got nothing. You know, we got nothing. We didn't get any step shaved. We got, you know, the COLAs that were owed to us already because it took 20 months. You know, it looks like, you know, they put out that chart, so it looks like people got more than they did. You know, they look at the chart like, oh, I'm making like $250 more. No, you're not. You're like, you would have been anyway. It just took long for them to do it. You know, in actuality, the raise I got, you know, I've said this a million times, 27 cents. That's what I got. No steps, nothing, 27 cents. And
it's pitiful.
You know, and then they put out a chart at the end of 2026, you'll be making this much. Okay. I would have gone up a couple of steps anyway. So what are you doing? You know, people, come on, people. Like, you're not dumb. Look at the
Wake up.
chart and know what you're know what you're doing, know what you're making. You know, like, you would have got the COLAs anyway. You're getting the COLAs, in the next couple of years. You would have gone up a couple steps anyway. Wake up, guys. Know what you're doing. Know how to read this chart.
Exactly. It's very misrepresenting when you look at it. Very misrepresenting. That final number is just a guesstimate, taken from the Department of Labor statistics to say these might be the COLAs, these might not be. But one way or another, you're looking at where you're at now, and you're looking at where at the end of 2026 you'll be. You're saying to yourself, boy, do I want to submit my resume now? Because it's terrible. Me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck here. I'm grandfathered into this thing, but I am like already hearing people saying in table 2 that maybe just have a few years in, or a good amount of years in, saying that I might have to step away from this because they're not giving us anything to have a livable, manageable, lifestyle. Whether you're just getting by, pinching pennies, or whether you're trying to, God forbid, take a vacation, sign your kid up for a sport and have to pay those bills. It's not there. It's not there with this job. Unless you're putting in 60 and 70-hour work weeks, which is sad. I'm still doing that.
That's my guy, mailman Nick. You watch yourself, all right? Nick's gonna do what he's got to do to get
I love you,
money.
Nick. The Bears are down 5, and we're really pushing here. We want to get them. Want to get them a W.
So I had this wild thought in my head, shits and giggles, just from my perspective. If for some strange stroke of luck, this is where I would have started off. Even if we're in such a dire strait where we're going broke, my opinion would be if your guy Renfro would have started out with an initial pay bump. Now, the $5 an hour pay bump I set off rip would be almost unrealistic. But let's just say he did $3. Okay? Just off rip. If he bumped everybody $3, and then because the complexity of where people are losing steps and all this other foolishness, on the top end they cut off, and then on the bottom end they cut off. If he bumped you guys, let's just say $3, and then in between that, everybody would just skip a step instead of having to sit at the step longer. So if you had your step, let's say you were at a step B, and then the next time you switched up to a step D versus going to a C, you would lose a full step, but you would actually jump a bit higher, which would entail you getting to the top step faster. Does that make sense? It would take off almost, they already took off, 3 years off the top, 2.5 years off the top. It would take almost another 2.5 years off, which would bring you guys down to almost a 6 to 7 year mark, which is more realistic than the 13 years that they got going on. That would be my first. Secondly, I would put into the contract, me personally, would say any of your non-career time, I personally would say if you hit your first year and you had your 80 hours, instead of it getting paid out, and your second year, instead of it getting paid out, that would count towards your actual time. Now, that would be a choice for the individual themselves if they wanted a chunk of money as a non-career, or utilize that time towards your career status. So when you jump in your actual first year of service, you'd actually be in your third year. Does that make sense? You wouldn't have to wait. Because at the top end, when you're trying to wait to get to your to your retirement date, those first 2 years that they got in there, it's not counted for. And a lot of people don't realize that when truck drivers, we started out as at the level PSE, because that's just a level. Assistants are a level, and the PSE is just a level. I was a PSE for 4 years, 4, before I actually got to PTF, before I got to career. That's what I went through. Now, they eliminated the PSE position for the truck drivers. Why
Mm.
can't they eliminate that for everybody else?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? There's no more
Right.
PSC truck drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't they
Well,
do that? Have them skip a step, give them a slight bump, but the bump is so small. Even though it's a small bump, you would move up faster, which would give people more incentive to come
yes.
to work. But again, I'm just a truck driver. I don't know much. What do you think about that? Tell me what you think. You don't have to agree.
No, I'll say that starting as a PTF, that's 18 years ago, I was in a very, very lucky position in terms of switching from starting a PTF because TEs were brought in years later,
Right.
and then CCA was created. So the PTF was the coveted thing in 2006. Like I waited 16 months to get the response from the post office about having a job. I thought I was not getting it. I just said,
Right.
"Oh, I got to find something else." So I get the PTF position. I make regular in 1 year in a small, in a fairly small station that I've been at the whole time. People look at me like I got three heads when I tell them that. They're like, "You lucky son of a bitch. Like, nobody makes regular in here. You know how many years I was a PTF before I made regular?" And I said, I retired and they said I was making regular. I said, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all in my life. But when it comes to the Postal Service, well, I have a lot to say here that's definitely on the negative side. But in the beginning, when things were a lot different, and the job was a lot more coveted, and I can say that I would definitely have wanted all the time to have counted. Like you said, I would want all the time to count rather than not having time count. Time served, in like prison terms, what the post offices say,
Right.
is the greatest thing. To say that everything on my paperwork shows from when I started in August of 2006, and my count began towards my retirement from that moment when I was hired as a PTF and converted to regular in a short time, and right at the 1 year mark. CCA, TE, transitional. That's the word, transitional.
Right.
You're transitioning to a career spot. CCA is just flying a dead stick as far as I'm concerned. And ever since it was, conceived and put into operation, I just said, this is the biggest effing sham. I'm going to say it eventually. I'm going to just cool my jets for a minute, but it was just a horrible decision to create CCA. CCA should disappear from existence. And I'll take that time. Derek, over to you. But that's what my answer is to your question, Jay. I would rather have the time served than rather have a pay raise. I know people want the money, and it's like that's what I want to see. But time is everything with this thing. You want to get closer to the end as fast as you can.
Yeah, I agree. And Jay, what you said, it's a great answer. First of all, I was a CCA for 2.5 years. CCA it's a fucking joke. Let's
There
be
you
honest.
go. It is a fucking joke.
It's like a letter carrier is a letter carrier, right? So I show up, I'm doing 70, 75 hours a week, and I'm not joking. That's what I was doing. We were the help for the regulars. That's what we are. And now they make it the CCAs, like we're the help for the CCAs, which is weird, but there shouldn't be any CCAs anyway. But people ask me, what would have made the contract better, right? The contract would have been better, like you said, like not asking for the world. I'm not asking for $5 an 8-year max. I give me a $3 bump, shave a step or two off, right? And I'd be happy. I'd be happy. And like I said, I'm not looking for the world. And give me the option to buy back my CCA time back. If you don't want to give it to me, give me the option to buy it back.
There you
Because
go.
that would be the best money ever spent, right? Because I'd probably jump off 3 steps, 2.5 years, right? Or close to it. So just give me that option, but yeah, that would be okay. That would be pretty good in my mind. $3 bump and shave off a couple of steps. And the CCA, that's a joke that we still have it. It's amazing if they left that in the contract. It makes me think, like you said, PSEs, right? That's in the language of the TA. Like, what are you doing? Is he copy and pasting stuff? Like, these are dead positions. What's going on? Like, I'm beginning to think like he's like taking contracts from other contracts and just copy and pasting into this contract. I'm not sure what he's doing, what he's even thinking. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of it doesn't make any sense.
He deflected back to when the recession, what did he say, 2008?
2008.
But we are in 2024, about to go into 2025. 2008 is a long time ago there, brother.
Damn.
And a lot has changed in 17 years. Why are we still going back to that? He could have worked that out. My opinion.
If I can touch on it like a timeline of like saying, okay, 2006, George Bush and his administration, and we're not getting political, I'm just saying who was in the administration when they created the pre-funding for the retirees. And next thing you know, I start in 2006. That's when first class volume starts going down. It's the first time you start seeing losses in this place. And then you just keep seeing every year, down, 5 billion. Why do we have this thing in place? Where does it make sense to pre-fund retirement for people who haven't even been born yet? So then you fast forward. How are we going to, kind of balance this out? Oh, well, in 2013, we're going to create Table 2. And we're going to jack these carriers for a ton of money, and then we're going to do the CCA thing. And so it's like less time, less money to pay into any sort of benefits, and it's like, okay. And yet we're still seeing then we see on the scanner, when we walk out to our trucks in the morning, Postal Service shows $18.6 billion in revenue. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
I take pictures of that. I take pictures of that shit.
Are you sure? Like, we're not talking about like DeJoy's like personal like income. Where is this profit, and where is this sign of like, hey, good job, guys, things are looking good? We know what the Postal Service is going to tell us on their end every day, and it's just all they're bullshit. We don't need both sides bullshitting us. We got this contract. It's in front of us. The majority. I'm sorry, if anybody is out there, if you're listening and you're thinking about saying yes to this thing, again, I've been here for a long time. I love this job. I think it's fantastic. I love being a carrier. But this TA and Brian Renfro, they both got to go. They both have to go. This guy here, I've gotten to be very friendly with. Both of these gentlemen here, I got to be very friendly with and tell stories and find out about some other guys. And I put a lot into this thing. I wear the emotion of being doing this job on my sleeve. This is not just a wake up and do a job and get a paycheck for me. I really care about the betterment of this place, the Postal Service. I love it. I don't want to go anywhere. I say when you get into this deep of time served, and I know I still got a good amount left. I want to hang in to put 30 years in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave, but I can. What we got on paper right now in this contract says, I ain't going anywhere. I said, I don't live a very, I don't live this classy lifestyle. I said, I want to be able to put money aside and feed my TSP. But as things rise, as they are right now, you're pinching pennies, no matter what salary level you're at with this thing. But my office, of course, has been short-staffed, since before my kids were born, who are, one is 11. And I have just been working like a dog against my will, non-ODL for the last couple of years, forced in. And that is the stipulation you want to see, along with the money being fair, is to say, don't keep me here against my will. Hey, Nick, I know he wants it. Go get it. When I was 30, oh yeah, sign me up. Give me all those hours. I'm good. That was 14 years ago. I want to see my kids. I want to be home once in a while. And I said, this does not, this current business model, and it's not a business, it's a service. But Mr. DeJoy has his ideas, and I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing. But, clearly when he sat down with Renfro, he said, this is going to be a cakewalk for me. This guy is not good, or I'm just going to buy him off, which, seems to be the case. So
do you think, in your opinion, I'm glad you brought up DeJoy. Do you think that DeJoy did not factor in your pay raises and your COLAs when he was putting together this 10-year plan?
Remember what you said about DeJoy, where his people during those XPO years were very happy people. The drivers, they liked Mr. DeJoy. They liked everything. Private sector, private numbers, different books, come over to this crazy joint, quasi-governmental agency, supposed to have the numbers aligned with everybody else out there in terms of government, in terms of saying they get this, but this place is just a little bit different for some reason. Why does the clerk start at $27 an hour when the CCA and the new carrier, the hardest job in the place, go ahead and argue with me, anybody. The carrier job is the hardest job in the place, but everybody works hard. I love my clerks. They put in some work, but the carrier job, we're the face of the business, and yet they're stepping on our face. They're stepping on our face with this. And DeJoy, like I said, I believe that the business side of him is practically a genius. Like, he knows like that part of the business, but in terms of people, in terms of how many people this place serves, I just think he's a multimillionaire who got the job, and his bottom line is, that number's going to look better on the postal services revenue versus expenses. And I don't care who has to be here and not be here at the end. All I care about is that bottom line. He's paid off, 10 times over. I think his net worth is $100 million. There's never been a postmaster general that had that kind of net worth, as far as I know. So I think he just wakes up every day and lights a cigar with $100 bill and just says, I really, and that accent, I want to punch him in the head. Derek, I love your accent. I hate to do it. It comes just like it just says a face for punch.
Is he from up where you're at, Derek?
He's New England. He's Brooklyn. He's like Brooklyn. But I don't know, man. It's just that when it comes out, it doesn't come out the way my Brooklyn people do. But anyway, thanks, Lou. We appreciate everything you do. I hope you're watching.
What do you think, Derek?
I mean, first of all, I agree. I love my job. I love this job.
There you go. Another guy who loves it.
I hate the people that say, no one's stopping you from getting another job. You weren't drafted into this job. You knew what you were making when you took this job.
I hate that shit.
I did. But you know what? I didn't think they were going to actually not keep up with inflation. And, it's right there on paper. We're losing money every year, more and more money. It's crazy. But, yeah, I think DeJoy just played Renfro big time. Yes. He knew he had, probably the first day he walked in the room, he probably knew he had him. Oh, yeah, we lost this much. He can't go through his books. They're not going to show him his books. So he's taking his word for, we lost billions of dollars this year. So this is the best we can do. Give the carriers nothing. And they want to not even that, just not pay us more, but they want to just make more the office time, less office time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Now you're on the street longer, right? Where it's more dangerous.
Yep.
With the heat and
with a 35-year-old truck.
Else. Yeah, exactly. And it's, everything about this tentative agreement it stinks. It sucks. It's bullshit. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. I just reading through it and I'm just shaking my head and nothing makes sense about it. Really, nothing. I just hope that everyone does the right thing. I'm voting no. I hope they have to make a decision when those ballots come back in.
We're just two carriers. We're just two carriers sitting here talking to a non-carrier, but gentleman who is such a part of bringing this all together. And God bless you, brother. I mean, really, for doing what you're doing here. The fuel that has been invigorated into my loins, of saying that 18 years of complacency, of saying, well, I didn't graduate college and but this job, again, it's so unlike anything else to say that, yes, you got some rough days. Yeah, you listen to people manage you who couldn't manage their way out of a wet paper bag with scissors in their hands, But again, if they chose to go that way, I get it. I said, I understand everybody has to have, a position in this place, but the carrier job should be the safest and most coveted position and most compensated position. And again, I'll throw out my numbers of what I've been doing for 18 years. Okay. And I'll do it as quick as possible because I got it all in my head exactly from where I did it. When I started, I've been on foot essentially from the beginning to where the first 5 years of my career, I walked out of the office without any use of a truck and used relay boxes, which are now not really in use anymore. Now everybody tends to have a truck. So I would hoof it all day, working 6 weeks, having only 1 or 2 weeks vacation, and then the vacation time built up to 5 weeks. Now after 15 years, you get 5 weeks. That is the most coveted time in my life, to say when I can step away from this for just those short periods of time. And you have to be a very, very crafty person with annual leave, whether you're in a big office or a small office, because you have to compliment and you have to know the compliment. You have to know when to grab that calendar and do the, it's kind of goofy, like to say, like, to get time off. Think about somebody with kids. This gentleman has kids. I have kids. You have kids. How much have you seen and how much have you missed because of the post office and the rules that apply to being? Again, I understood that. I said to myself, I understand I'm going to miss things. The older guys that started when I started told me, Matt, you're going to miss things. Chooch, you're gonna not be able to see certain things, but it's just part of the deal. Status quo. Okay, fast forward 18 years later, I'm still doing the same thing, and I'm working harder than I ever did. My route has gone from being 500 and so stops to now up to 950 stops. I've had growth on my route of strictly cluster box growth, but nonetheless growth. And it's taken my day from where, I had a route that might have been just under 8 hours to now, like, to where I need 9 hours every day. Especially now, I need 10 hours with political mail. And, management knows that, old Chooch will bang it out, and I'm not looking for anybody to come rescue me. I'm the last one that says, send me help. All I do is call in and say, I'll be back at this time, do what you want to do. And rarely do I even get sent the help because, I don't want the help. I like doing my job. But at the same time, it's just been made to be where some routes are just, very quick. And this is a problem on the carrier side that I have to say to my carriers that are maybe just learning some things, but they're not going to tell you this in academy. Certainly no manager is going to tell you. The most important thing is that you are paid for the 50 total minutes, a 30-minute lunch and 2 10-minute breaks. That is your time. If you're not taking that time, you are giving that almost hour back to the post office every day. You know why I'm saying that now? Because I did it. Because I did it like a dumbass. I felt like I was going to be pressed, and I said, you know what? They can't do anything to you. There's nothing you can do to me. Do you see me? Hi. There's nothing you can do. Take your lunches and your breaks. Don't feel intimidated. You're giving so much money and time. Time. Again, we're back to the time thing. If you're not doing that time and showing that cumulative time on your route for the betterment of the whole office by saying, no, look at this, under, management that's their wet dream. They love that. They love to see the undertime. And then there you go. They're going to expect you to keep doing that same thing over and over. So my thing is that I've had the growth be able to counter the downtime thing, to say, while mail volume is lightened up, the route's gotten bigger, and bigger. So I just said, you do the job right, you do the job accordingly, you take the lunches and the breaks, everything should level out. But unfortunately, I don't see that. I see that being a huge problem, and DeJoy knows that, and Renfro knows that. Everybody wants to go home. I want to go home too, but you can't give that time back. You have to stay out there and stop physically working for 30 minutes at one point, and then 10 minutes at other point, and then you also have comfort stops. If you got to pee, you're not going to do it in a bottle. You ain't going to see me peeing in a bottle. I'm going to stop somewhere to do my business. There's people peeing in bottles because they're so worried about stopping. We talked about this. Go ahead, Derek.
This is very true. I mean, I couldn't agree more. You have to take your breaks. I was one too. I think everyone when they first start skips their breaks and lunches. Because they intimidate you. That's what they do. But there's so many people that's been in there for years that's still
That's still doing.
breaks and lunches. It's amazing.
Yep.
Take your breaks and lunches. Like, you have to. You're not getting paid. Don't take your lunch. And yeah, the peanut and balls thing, like, that happens. That really happens. Amazing to me. Go anywhere. Go, if it's 15 minutes away where you have to go to that 15 minutes and, take your piss. For God's sakes. Yeah, but I couldn't agree more. But yes, like, I also have an overburdened route, and some Mondays, like tomorrow morning is Monday morning, like, I know it might be a 10-hour route tomorrow.
We're gonna get slammed good.
Yeah.
We're gonna get same here.
Yeah,
Political's gonna be on the case, and we're gonna get slammed.
Yeah. Ballots, have you seen your ballot yet? Your TA ballot yet? I mean, I haven't. I don't know of anyone who has. Those are coming. We have so much political mail. Like, 3 days last week, I had about 4 bundles. So, I mean, I'm going over a couple hours on my road already.
Good.
I did the calculation about what you guys spoke about, and it's the one thing that I enjoy. We have 4 minutes left, but the one thing that I enjoy is to get your opinions and your facts out there. And just so that a lot of the new people and a lot of the old people, they don't realize that a portion of exactly what you guys said, if people are not taking their breaks, they're giving the post office back money. So I just took an average of, if you gave them back 20 minutes of your day, if you just gave it to them and worked through it at $8 an hour, that's just breaking your dollars down. The average of 24, $8, 150,000 carriers. That's just half of your carriers, right? No, I'm sorry. We have 300,000 carriers, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have
the number hovers around 220, sometimes 250, and then sometimes 3.
Okay, so
it's like a mystery number. It's over 200,000.
Okay, so let's just give it to 100,000. Let me go backwards here. I'm gonna go to 100,000 carriers at $8 an hour, and I'm sorry, at $8 out of that, you've given them back $800,000 per day. Per day.
Excellent math.
Day. You understand?
That's crazy.
If just 100,000 carriers skipped those breaks like you just was speaking about at only $8, that's $800,000 you've given the post office.
There you go.
Day.
So you could probably triple
bringing
that
up some
because
serious
there's double the carriers and it's all $8 an hour. So you could probably triple that number.
Yep.
And you know what?
Yep.
Like, is it our fault that the post office mishandles their money too? It's like it always falls on the carriers. They're not. They pay. We have 15 supervisors in the morning, and we're not getting paid. It's
management got their nice big raise. Management got their raise recently.
Yeah,
jumped up their numbers. We're supposed to be, excuse me, we're supposed to be in line with that number. And like I said, I talk about the UPS to say that I love my UPS guy. He's out there with me. We rolling the same streets I do. We talk. We known each other a long time. Sit together and have lunch. I know his numbers.
Minute, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Give me about 30 seconds closing for each of you.
Okay. Once again, we're talking about the idea that we love doing our job. We don't want to sit here and piss and moan to say like we deserve better. We know we deserve better. We know we deserve better than this, and the vote is going to show this. I believe firmly. Table 1, 100%, and my fellow table 1s, 100%. Hopefully, and there's plenty more table 2s and table 1s. So there you go. I would hope that this is an easy no.
How about you, Derek?
Yeah, this is Mailman Derek. Mailman Derek, let's go. Like, this is just starting up. We're ramping up here. So, like, keep tuning in. We have a lot to say. That's where I'm going to
get used to this face, people. Chooch is here to stay.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.